What is up, everyone? This is Clear the Deck. Last you heard from me, the Pirates were about to start a 2-game series against the Detroit Tigers. The Pirates split that series, win the first one, lose the second one. At PNC Park, Pirates are now 9-3 on the season. I think if I just take a quick step back here for a moment and, if someone from the future at game one of the season this year, let's say, we're in March, the first game hasn't started yet in Miami, and someone comes up to me and says, hey, 12 games into the season, I know the Pirates are going to be winning games, but they're not just going to be winning games, they're going to be 9-3. They're going to be leading the NL Central. Would you take that? Yeah, of course I would take it. 100 times out of 100 times. I don't think there's much to complain about in these first 12 games. Now, when I say there's not much to complain about, the Pirates tested that theory in Game 2 against the Tigers because the Pirates have found themselves in a closer controversy. In Game 2 of this Tigers series on Tuesday afternoon, Pirates are winning 3-1. Martin Perez pitched a hell of a game. 8 innings, 1-run ball. They take him out. They bring David Bednar in, our famed local legend, icy light loving legend from Mars High School, 2-time All-Star. They brought him into the game. Now, prior to that point, David Bednar has already blown 2 saves, so we know he hasn't been, performing at the elite level, the elite closer level that Pirates fans are used to. And also, if you remember from, I believe, episode 1, my season preview of the Pirates for the 2024 season, you would also know that he got off to a slow start in spring training because he had a lat injury, which I believe, I'm not great with anatomy, but I believe that's on your back, a muscle in your back. I'm pretty sure. Someone can check me on that. But the point is, he was slow to start the year. He didn't have a full spring training. He was dealing with some, that nagging lat injury. And so I think the question was David Bednar even ready to start the season with the Pittsburgh Pirates because of this injury? So knowing all of that, I think there was a lot of hesitancy kind of for this outing for David Bednar against the Tigers with a 3-1 lead heading into the top of the 9th. And, well, it didn't get much better for David Bednar. Immediately, first batter, a walk. Pitches not even close to the strike zone. If you look at the breakdown of that first at-bat in the top of the 9th inning, I mean, we're talking pitches a foot above the strike zone. Up and in as well, missing with the fastball, missing with the curveball. You could just tell just in that first at-bat that he didn't have it. Well, second at-bat, first pitch, a 76-mile-an-hour curveball, hit by pitch, Spencer Torkelson. So we're talking first and second, nobody out now. Well, at this point, third batter gets up, single. That's not good. Pirates immediately now have a tie baseball game with the Detroit Tigers, 3-3. I mean, it gets worse, folks. He did get a ground out, but right after that, fifth batter up, another single. Detroit's now leading 4-3. Javier Baez, he also gets hit by a pitch, a 76-mile-an-hour curveball again. I'm sensing a theme here. Can't find the strike zone. And then another single just on a line drive to ultimately give up the 5th run to the Detroit Tigers. And the Pirates lose the game 5-3. Ultimately, they put up a little bit of a fight in the bottom of the the bottom of the 9th, but ultimately the Pirates lose that game 5-3. So the outing was definitely bad enough on its own. I think the real reaction, why a lot of people are talking about it, is that when Derek Shelton ends up taking David Bednar out of the game, brings in Roansy Contreras. He gets 2 quick outs to go to the bottom of the 9th. I think the reaction from the fans is, why did they leave him in so long? If we know David Bednar is injured, or if he's, has this injury concern, why was he in the first place, especially when Aroldis Chapman has been kind of lights out as a reliever? So there's a lot of that, conversation taking place. I think the bigger conversation is that when David Bednar, as he's taken out of the game, is walking to the dugout. I mean, I was at PNC Park that day. There were, I think, less than 11,000 fans. We're not talking about a well-intended game. It was a Tuesday afternoon game in April. The boos from that crowd were pretty easy to hear. And yeah, you can say, yeah, maybe they're booing Shelton because he left him in too long. And yes, that was certainly part of it. But I think the other, maybe bigger narrative was that the boos just got louder as Bednar was walking closer and closer into the dugout. So then post-game, obviously Bednar is interviewed. Rowdy Tellez, a new player, first baseman for the Pirates, comes in and defends David Bednar. And of course, Pittsburgh fans, 93.7 The Fan, writers, anyone with a Twitter account has an opinion on this, right? Of course, Bednar has, I think, to his credit, earned himself, some time to figure this out. But I think the bigger question is if he's injured, right? So I think that's my kind of takeaway. There, you can see a ton of different arguments online over the past few days about it. I think my takeaway is, okay, it's happened. We know something is wrong with Bednar. What do you do now about it, right? You can't throw him out there again in a close game. I think you throw him on the injured list. I think the problem with that is Shelton has already said that it's likely that he's not going to be going to the injured list anytime soon, that this isn't an injury. This isn't having to do with the lat issue that he had in spring training. I have questions about that. He had a late start. Even if he's, let's say, not injured, right? He had a very late start to spring. You feel like he just needs some extra time to figure it out. And, if he's not 100%, why do that at the, major league level? Can he do that in Indianapolis? Can he do that with another minor league team within Pittsburgh's system? Would be my question. A rehab assignment after a quick, 10-day trip to the injured list. I think ultimately that's what I would do. It would also just eliminate, the confusion that I think a lot of fans and journalists, in quotes, have right now. So a little bit of a controversy. I'm kind of on the fence of, now knowing that he's not injured per Shelton, do you throw him out there again to figure it out? He's already had, like we said, 3 blown saves to start the year. We're only 12 games in. That's not a great trend. There's still, 90% of the season left? There's time for him to figure it out. I don't think he has to do that in Pittsburgh. I think he can take some time off. Our bullpen, outside of Bednar, has been really, really good. Let him figure it out. Let him rest up. Let him have a proper rehab assignment. And then bring him back to Pittsburgh. It's not like he's cooked, He's going to have talent. He's going to perform well. He still has a lot of time left here in Pittsburgh. But he doesn't have to do that in the next 2 weeks. He can take some time off, is my opinion. But looks like he's staying up in Pittsburgh. Now there's going to be the narrative, who do you go to in the bottom of the 9th? The Pirates are about to start a 4-game series against the Philadelphia Phillies. They play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I think it's a legitimate question. Who do you throw out there in the bottom of the 9th? If the game is close, if it's a run game, a 2-run game, whatever it is, who do you throw out there? And I think, based on the first 12 games, I don't know if you can throw Bednar out there again. Yes, you want to build his confidence, but again, I don't think you have to do that in Pittsburgh. So that's my takeaway. We'll obviously have a bigger sample size here, in the Philadelphia series. They're in Philadelphia now for this 4-game series, so maybe we'll get some more evidence one way or the other that supports putting David Bednar in there, or maybe putting Aroldis Chapman in there. And I think a caveat within all of this, I think a lot of people see how dominant Chapman has been, and he has been. I was very excited by this signing. It was a surprise signing by Ben Cherington. I think a lot of people were not expecting him to be in this bullpen, to be on this Pittsburgh Pirates team. He's been perfect so far. I mean, there's no other word for it. He's not going to be perfect the entire season. There are going to be moments also where Chapman struggles, where Chapman loses us a game or two. So I just want fans to remember that. That's the rational, I think, thought. But I know that that's not, if you're in the radio business and the social media business, whatever that is, it's to have hot takes. And so, of course, when you hear, for example, Pony and Chris Muller talk about it on the Fan, they're probably going to have a little bit spicier takes to it. But I think it's very simple. Let David Bednar have a break. Let him rehab for a few weeks in Indianapolis, the AAA team for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and then bring him back when he's ready. I don't think it's any deeper than that. So I'm not going to talk too much more about it, but if we are thinking about, this 4-game series, I think it's an exciting series. Philadelphia is always entertaining. They're scumbags, but, you're going to see Bryce Harper. You're going to see Brandon Marsh. They're leading their team right now with 3 home runs apiece. They're 6-6 on the season, which is second place in the NL East right now. Atlanta Braves are winning that division, 7 wins to 3 losses. And then the rest of the teams in the NL East are below 500, the Nationals, Mets, and Marlins. If we take a deeper dive a little bit into the NL Central, Pirates are still leading the division at 9-3, entering this 4-game series against the Phillies. The Brewers are continuing to be a very good team. They just won the series against the Reds that they just had this week, so they're 8-3 in second place in the NL Central. Chicago Cubs, they are now 7-5. They just played the Padres. They are third place in the NL Central. Cincinnati Reds, they're now 6-6. Fourth place, St. Louis Cardinals. Always love to see them in the basement. They are 6-7. I'm always very excited to, play against the Phillies. I think they're always a tough challenge. They're a good team, obviously. Went deep in the playoffs last year. Didn't even mention Kyle Schwarber. He also has 2 home runs. JT Realmuto, their catcher, also has 2 home runs. Let's see who their hits leader is. Trey Turner. We didn't even talk about him. No home runs, but leading the Phillies with 13 hits on the season, 2 of those being doubles. I think it's going to be an entertaining series. I think, again, hopefully the Pirates can figure it out. I think what's really exciting is anytime Jared Jones is the pitcher. Jared Jones, we've talked about him a few times in this podcast so far, the 22-year-old rookie. Now he gets a chance to make his 3rd start of the season. He had his first against the Marlins, pitched on the home opening day in Pittsburgh, and then now has his 3rd start against the Philadelphia Phillies. I think that is a great challenge for him against a really great lineup. Again, Trey Turner, JT Realmuto, Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos. This team is really good, so it'll be another great challenge for Jared Jones. Let's see how well he does. He pitched a great home opener last time he was out. A quality start. And that's another thing. We didn't even talk about that. The Pirates have, 5 or 6 quality starts in a row right now, which is really impressive. Really, I think, what you want to see for the Pirates in this starting rotation. So hopefully that streak continues. Philadelphia in this series, we're going to see Jared Jones pitch Thursday night. We're going to see Bailey Falter, who was lights out against the Orioles, 6 innings, one hit against the Orioles. That Orioles team just brought up, by the way, their top prospect in baseball, Jackson Holliday, although he kind of had a dud at the plate tonight, Wednesday night. Saturday afternoon, Marco Gonzalez, again, he threw a quality start in his last outing. Every starter for the Pirates right now, their last start is a quality start, which is really entertaining. And then Mitch Keller had a really great Monday night game against the Tigers. What he ended up having, let's see his game log. I think he had 9 strikeouts against the Tigers. Yeah, in 6 innings, a quality start, 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts. So really good to see him get some momentum. I think, again, you try to win the series, take 3 out of 4. That's ideal. I think even if you split the series 2-2, that's a success as well. You just don't want to lose a series, I think, in a 4-game series, right? Most of the series throughout the year are going to be 3 games, so you try to win them to take 2 out of 3. But when you have these 4-game series, I think a win is, splitting it as well, especially against a good team like the Phillies. For the Phillies, I want to say who we're going to see for the Phillies. Ranger Suarez Thursday night, really good pitcher. Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies on Friday night. Spencer Turnbull, who was, I believe, where did he play before? He used to play for the Tigers, a really good righty. Actually, not really good. He's had some previous good seasons in 2020 and 2021. Had a pretty bad season, actually, last year in 2023, a 7.26 ERA, but only 31 innings. So, limited outings. He's now starting for them. So he was, always been a starter, but has dealt with some, injuries, I believe, that have caused some limits to innings for him. But so far, he's been really good for the Phillies. And then in that 4th game on Sunday, that's when, like I said, Mitch Keller's starting for the Pirates. But then we see, a really good pitcher from the Phillies, Zach Wheeler. He's been really good so far. ERA at, let's see here, 19 innings pitched, only 4 earned runs, and he has 20 strikeouts in 19 innings so far in 2024. So it's going to be a good series. Hopefully they're able to at least split it. But anything more than that, we will absolutely take 3 out of 4 or even a sweep, which would be absolutely nuts. This episode is already longer than I wanted it to be. Really just wanted it to be a quick kind of commentary on the whole David Bednar closer situation. Hopefully the Pirates figure it out. Like I said, they're 9-3 on the young season. You can't go 159-3 if you don't win the 10th game of the season. So that's exactly what the Pirates will try to do Thursday night. I think you've noticed probably that I'm not doing daily recaps. We'll see how far or how often, I guess, I will record these episodes. I kind of like doing the series recaps. Allows me to just enjoy the games without having to stress about recording an episode afterwards. So that might be a thing moving forward. Who knows? We're just trying to figure it out and still have fun. So appreciate you listening. I know we're on Spotify and YouTube. Give it a like, give it a follow, whatever you want to do. And then we'll go from there. Let's go Bucks.